Hi, family. I wanted to come on, do a quick message for you. Um, and that is, I want you to imagine Source, God, right, as something, as a light, okay? We're gonna imagine this as pure white light, and this pure white light is made up of everything, right? Made up of all the colors, the vibrations, the everything of everything, right? So, with that imagery in mind, I want you to imagine it being projected down, right? Now, it's filling everything in the physical 3D world, right? And creating imagery for us to perceive with our eyes, right? Now, I want you to imagine, now, there's going to be two different consciousness levels I want you to really perceive for a second. One of those is the highest consciousness level. Now, whatever dimensional level you would like to call this, we could call it the 12th, we could call it the 9th, we could call it anything you would like, but in this conscious level, dimensional area, when you perceive Source, right? If you were to look at Source and perceive yourself, you are seeing pure white light. Okay, this is because there is no separation. It's all kind of happening at once, right? Now, if you were to go into, let's say, the first, second, or third dimension, we're all familiar with the third, right? So, in this level of dimensional speaking, when we perceive ourselves, everything around us, right? In the spiritual sense, a lot of us, it's very hard to see that pure white light. Instead, for a lot of us, that's a very rare occurrence for us to feel fully connected into everything, right? We hear miracle stories of such. But the reason being is because we are at such a low vibrational standing that the things that we are aligned to, that's all that we can really perceive. It's kind of like someone who grew up abused became an empath because they had to become sensitive to a threat. So now they constantly perceive threats. Now, that is just like us now. If we are constantly perceiving threats, we can change that perception, that tune in, right, to whatever we would like. We could tune it into a specific thing, or we can tune it in on the wholeness, right? There is no separation in that point. So, in this first dimensional being, right? Or third, sorry. You can kind of imagine you're only seeing one color when you look at Source like that, let's say. Let's say you only see the world as blue. But that's not completely false, but it's not completely true either. And so, if we allow ourselves to raise our conscious awareness, right? Instead of denying other people's realities, instead of denying our own realities, we stop running away from those uncomfortable emotions, the uncomfortable realities that perhaps we don't want to face and don't want to experience, right? When we stop running away from that and we sit with it and we become it, not so much become it, I should say. It's a better word. Allow for us to connect with it. I was given a beautiful example by a spiritual teacher mentor, and they talked about how if you have a scared child, right, you're not going to tell it to go figure it out on its own and go kick it off. At least, hopefully not. Instead, you're going to get down on its level. And in this metaphor, I think that's really important. Getting down to their level, maybe looking them in the eye, actually kneeling down, right? You're doing this because you want to connect. You want to see from their perspective. You're not becoming them, but you're allowing yourself to open yourself to the perspective that their perspective is also true. You're trying to see it from both yours and theirs. You're no longer just one, you're both. So you took that person in as yourself. And so in doing so, you've integrated a part of yourself that you once thought was external, right? But rather, you just took that vibration inwards and further integrated it. So, a lot of the times, we've been so programmed to run away from our fears, to push it down. Don't figure out what the root problem is, but rather just allow for it to rule our subconscious, not even knowing it. So today I want you to really take into the idea that Source can show up in infinite amount of ways. And today's video is really about freedom. Freedom of expression, not only yourself but externally. Allowing Source to show up in its pure form, however it wants to show up. Take dedicated time, conscious time out of your day to imagine Source, pure white light form, to raise your conscious level and begin to see the Source within everything. As you are no longer bound to a negative or lower vibration that can only see the one color in that rainbow of colors. Allow yourself to become one with every single one of those colors that you see. Don't judge them. Allow for them to be exactly who, what, however it expresses itself in that very moment, and give it space, hold space for whatever that is, whether it's you or another person, whatever it is. Step back into the observer, the Source, highest dimensional, true being that just observes without judgment, that has so much abundance and compassion and has not a sense of worry. It watches all and allows for the love, the compassion, the care. It allows for growth, discipline. It allows for so many things, and it observes it all the same. It sees it all the same as itself. There is no separation in itself. So, in the aspect of freedom, I'll leave you off with this. In the aspect of freedom, we unbind the chains that keep us bound to people, situations, feelings, truly in the raw form, vibration that we are in, because we have refused to take it in as ourselves. We are so uncomfortable in it because we are not comfortable in it. Don't get me wrong, this is not to dissuade. Is that even a word? Dismay? I don't know. To disregard abuse or harm, but it is to realize its purpose. And even that person who does that has a reason for doing so. You are doing that to yourself. And when we can accept that without judgment, without any of our human perception lenses. If you didn't watch that video, please watch the video I just posted, I believe yesterday. I will link it in the description box, and I will also try to do that information tab thing. But our perceptions really are lenses, and they distort our vision. So the more we can get rid of the lens that only allows us to see one color, as I was talking about earlier, we allow ourselves the freedom to see the white light in everything, and therefore the new possibilities of what we can experience. I believe I'll leave it with that, guys. I ask you to really take some time to sit with this, meditate on it, ask for true guidance and clarity on it. But I pray this brought you love, light, wisdom, knowledge, and clarity, and healing. I hope you all enjoy your day or night whenever you're watching this. Have a good one. Bye.